Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. So today I want to talk about integrating business development into your regular habits. And although business development, sales, marketing is honestly some of my favorite activities in business, they can typically fall by the wayside when things get super busy with client work or with deadlines or your team needs you. There's just always seems to be something a little bit more on fire than your lead gen. And it can be easy to lose sight of it. But what's really important is that you're always keeping that machine humming. And you want to make sure that you've always got something moving and flowing through your funnels, through your sales process. And that's just, it's never stopping. You never stop selling. And one of the most important parts of that is integrating in some type of business development habits into your, regular schedule so that you don't realize that you're moving an inch forward. Now, you may not be making giant leaps forward every single day, but you're moving an inch forward and you're consistent every single day. And that will contribute to how well you're training. So I look at it as sales being like training for a marathon or a marathon. If you don't do anything for 3 months and you come out the gate and you're like launching, selling, and buy my thing, that's going to be really hard. And you're going to be tripping over yourself. You're going to be really hurt. You're going to be sore. If you never train and you go try to run a marathon, like having not run in 6 months, that's going to be really freaking hard. And if you haven't been selling for the last 6 months, launching is going to be really freaking hard. And getting a new client is going to be really hard because you wouldn't have put those reps in. So when we talk about putting the reps in, I'm going to give you some examples of ways that I've integrated putting reps in on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and how my team is supporting that. So you can just copy this blueprint if you want to, or feel free to take what you want. And one of the ways that we're doing this is, first of all, I use Asana. I live and die by Asana. My team will attest to this, that I will, I will have like everything planned in Asana until the day I die, as long as this thing exists, because I absolutely love it for people, team, and project management for tasks. And one of the things that I've assigned myself, because I'm a to-do list person, I'm an Enneagram 3, like to the nth degree. So we have a great system where if you need something done, put it on Shannon's to-do list because she will get such a dopamine kick from checking that thing off. She will love you. Like done. So one thing I do on my Asana board, and I'm actually looking at it, is every week it says pitch one podcast guest. Okay, great. My team has a weekly task of add 3 to 5 podcast guest candidates to the list. And the reason why I do this is that it allows me to, if it says pitch one guest, I'm like, oh God, where do I start? Like there are so many great people I'd love to have on the show and I'd love to interview and I really want to get them on the show. And instead of just fumbling over things and searching on social media and getting lost into a void, I just go to this list that my team puts together. So they have to update it by Wednesday. And then I pitch on Friday. And it will say something to the effect of like, here's the guest, here's what they're known for, here's what we think you could talk about. And this doesn't take too much time, guys. Like you could have a VA do this for, 15, 20 minutes each week just to research a few guests based on your show. Or, we can talk about what this could mean for you in terms of other things besides podcasts. But in this case, for the podcast, we're pitching a guest to come on the show. I'm also pitching a show a week to be on. And, we're being really intentional about keeping track of the pitches, again, keeping track of the candidates for guests, keeping track of the applications that come in, which, by the way, you can apply to be a guest. You can go to keepwhatyouearn.com. We also invite guests to come on the show as well. And these are great because in terms of business development, inviting guests on the show is key. Engaging on social media is also key. So every couple of days, I have a reminder to thoughtfully engage with at least 3 social media accounts. Now, if this is not a habit for you, this is a great way to make it a habit. And I'm trying to be more conscious about making it a habit to engage on social media, not just create and not just consume. So to go in and really like make comments when I like something and take that extra time instead of just scrolling. And even if I do like something with a little heart, being thoughtful enough to leave a comment or say why or share a message with the creator. And that's important. The other thing is to make it an intention to show up in person to something. I would say every quarter for me, because it's so hard living between two countries to be physically present for more than that. But whatever that looks like for you, try to go to in person networking events every so often, or try to get in front of new audiences, new groups. Try to find a networking group that's unique to your industry, like your personal industry. So for me, it would be other accountants. Find a networking group that's full of your ideal client, and find a networking group that is going to be a reach or stretch for you. Somebody who can mentor you, or find people that you could learn from, find educational places with common people that you can meet. And you never know, even if you're not meeting clients, you're meeting people who are finding out who you are and what you do. And that's really powerful. And you add those contacts to your list, and then they think of you when the time comes and their friend asks for help, or they realize they need your services and assistance. So there's never really time wasted. It's just a question of when will that come back around to you. So get in front of people, get into networking events, and set those little habits digitally as well, like the podcast pitches, the social media engagement. Give yourself, write email copy once a week that you're going to send out to your email list. Start writing, like share a testimonial once a week. So if you're doing this all yourself and you don't have a team to support you, just remember that you have to be doing all these things in micro steps. And it may seem like a lot, and it can be, but if you do these little things consistently, it will add up to bigger results. And I know that a lot of people have these habits that they've installed into their processes that are really paying off. I know that by engaging more on social media, it's been really fun to get engagement back and to, be part of conversations again, instead of just kind of being on the consumer side. Similarly, when we're pitching guests to come on the show, it's great to expand the network and to learn about these new people and reach outside of our little bubbles, because you start following someone on Instagram, for example, then you can see who else to follow and start looking at their content. You start searching keywords and finding people and finding creators that you never knew existed. So it's been really fun to kind of get out of that bubble once in a while, follow some new people, unfollow some people who don't inspire you, and just kind of shift your focus into creating a new network and expanding your network. So when it comes to business development, if you're building a business using social media, then I would say you want to create all of these habits. But if you're building a business like, in person, brick and mortar, or local, you want to be going to local events. You want to be supporting local causes. You want to be joining clubs. You want to be showing up and being out in the market. And I would actually be intentional enough to say, set some goals, set some KPIs that will say, hey, did I go to 2 events this month locally? Like, let's say you're a local florist. It's like, did I go to 2 events this month to meet people? Did I do direct outreach to 2 types of people who could supplement or complement my business? Start researching that as well. And just take some time thoughtfully each week or each month to, if you're on Upwork, pitch a project, create a proposal, do some direct email outreach or direct phone outreach, and just find ways to, it doesn't have to be hours and hours. It doesn't have to be dozens of phone calls. It could be every week, make 2 calls. Let's start with that. And then as you get the habit built up, layer on, make it 4, until the point where those reps add up and you're like, hey, I can put 12 reps in per week, and just watch how those results start to come in. And I really do think that it's a lot easier than people make it out to be by just chunking it down to 1 or 2 things you can do this week. So I would love to know, what are you going to do? What are you going to add to your Asana board or your Trello board? What are you going to add to your calendar this week that you're going to do by the end of the week? I would love to know. Shoot me a DM. I'm at Shannon K. Weinstein on Instagram. Share what you're going to do for a habit to help you integrate more business development into your daily life. One of the things that holds people back from starting their business and going all in on it to grow it is this hesitation around setting it up properly or cleaning things up to make sure everything is legally and compliantly sound. Between setting up the actual business legally and knowing how to manage the money, there's a lot that can intimidate somebody and scare them into not starting. And that's why I bundled up my 5 best resources all together for brand new business owners or for anyone who's looking to clean things up. This is my 5-day mindset refresh because you know it always starts with mindset, and my business financial quick starter, which is my starter course for anyone looking to start a business with all the key elements you need to do in order. My tax deduction guide with hundreds of deductions you can take for your business today. My Money Pro matchmaker on how to find the right professional for you, and my cash flow forecasting mini course. This is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. It includes tools and templates, everything you need to get started on your business successfully or clean things up if you feel like you've fallen behind. Grab your copy right now. The Small Business Starter Kit is yours for free using the link in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.